What was it about Maria Callas that made her the greatest soprano of all times, with generations of singers looking up to her and opera lovers romanticizing about her? Was it her success, her fame, or perhaps, of course, her unique voice that could sing almost any role in the female operatic repertoire? Or maybe was it the drama in her personal life that made her so interesting? To me, all of these are just side effects to the real legacy that Maria Callas left us, and that I strive to follow. On the year we met, my husband found this book on a bench thrown away on the street. How can someone throw this fascinating piece of history away? I read Maria Callas' biography a few years ago eagerly, and her story stayed with me. As I grow as an artist, as a musician, as a woman, I learned so much from this iconic idol, as she changed the face of opera forever. So what exactly did I take from her biography that will help me fulfill my dreams and get to sing on the biggest stages? There is no question that Maria Callas had a talent and a beautiful voice from a very young age. But what's more interesting is how she worked on perfecting her instrument with so much dedication like no one before. She was known for her intense work ethic and commitment to continuous improvement, maybe to the point she was obsessed with her voice, with her technique, with her musicianship, with her career. To me, the art of music is magnificent, and I cannot bear to see it treated in a shabby way. Did you know that Maria was admitted to the Athens Conservatory when she was only 13 years old? Her mother had to fake her age and say that she's 16 so Maria would get a full scholarship. And so she spent days and nights with her teacher and coaches there, practicing and perfecting her technique and her musicianship. I know as a soprano how much discipline you need to go to the practice room every single day and work on your craft. And I feel that we get this time in the conservatory when we have like 4 or 5 years to truly immerse ourselves in music learning. I remember those years at the Boston Conservatory when I had such an immense focus on my growth, on deepening my exploration of my voice and my technique, diving into the music and discovering so many things. And I actually believe that this kind of exploration should last forever. And I kind of wish that today, as a professional singer, I would still have that guidance from a wonderful, great conductor like in old times. Maybe like Maria had when she met Maestro Serafin. Maestro Serafin took Maria Callas under his wing. Not only he arranged like amazing opportunities for her, he worked with her on all the small details, teaching her all he knew about the music from a conductor's point of view, which is fascinating for a singer, for a soprano, when together they built the part musically and dramatically, which is amazing. I wish we had something like that today, not only when we get to a production, but you know, he was her teacher, a conductor who would be your teacher and help you build your career with also building your musicianship. Well, she says it best.
That was one of the many lucky things, and maybe the really lucky things, because he taught me that there must be an expression, there must be a justification. He taught me exactly the depth of music, the justification of music. That is where I really drank all I could from this man.
He was, after all, the first maestro you worked with in Italy.
He was the first, and I'm afraid that he's the last of those kind of maestri.
You know, in one of her first traviatas, she was criticized for having a tired voice. Callas is tired, the voice is tired, to which she replied, but that is precisely the impression I was trying to create. How could Violetta be in her condition and sing in big, high, round notes? It would be ridiculous. In that exact same show, she was criticized for kicking off her shoes just before singing Sempre Libera. Do you know what people are throwing before they're singing Sempre Libera nowadays? It was not common before Maria Callas. She pushed the boundaries for us to break them completely, and she did it with so much elegance and respect to the music. Another thing that really left me in awe about Maria Callas was listening to her interviews in different languages, conducting a fluent interview in French, in Italian, in English. It just shows me how far she takes her artistry. Like, she is fully devoted to learning those languages and to feel fluent in those languages. So when she goes on stage, she would be fluent in every aspect of the character. This is so admirable and so inspiring for me as a singer. Maria Callas' devotion to her artistry truly inspires me to ask myself, how can I be the best at what I do? Maria Callas invested so much work in her craft, and she inspires me to do so. And when I go to the practice room, I try to be as focused as possibly can to improve my voice every single day. I try to look at the music with fresh eyes every single time. Even if I sang the piece many times, I try to look for more hints from the composers of exactly how I should sing this piece. Like Maria always said, you don't have to invent anything. Everything is written on the page. The composer has already given you everything.
When one wants to find a gesture, when you want to find how to act on stage, all you have to do is listen to the music. The composer has already seen to that. If you take the trouble to really listen with your soul and with your ears, and I say soul and ears because the mind must work, but not too much also, you will find every gesture there.
I don't know what happens to me on stage. Something else seems to take over. By the age of 19, Maria Callas was a superstar in Athens, Greece. And when she was about 20 years old, she moved to New York to live with her father, and she had to start building herself up again. No one knew her in New York. And for almost 2 years, she auditioned, and she received rejection after rejection from agents, from opera houses, until she had an audition to the Metropolitan Opera in New York. And on the spot, they heard her and offered her 2 roles in the 1946-47 season. They offered her the leading roles in Fidelio by Beethoven and in Butterfly, Madama Butterfly by Puccini. And after 2 years of rejections, she got this huge offer from the Met. And do you know what did she say? She said no. She said no to the Met. She said no to the Met after 2 years of no performances. Why did she refuse? According to this book, it was her intuition. And I'm quoting from this book, she did not want to sing Fidelio in English and parade around her 180 pounds on stage while she needs to portray a fragile 15-year-old Japanese girl. This intuition guided Maria Callas throughout her career, and she was probably right back then to follow her gut, because later on she became the #1 star of the Metropolitan Opera in New York. Another instance when she followed like her inner feeling that she's going to make it was when she auditioned to Merola, the program in the San Francisco Opera, and they told her that she should first make a career in Italy and then come back and they will sign her for a role. And you know what she told them? Thank you, but once I have made my career in Italy, I will no longer need you. I love her temperament, I love her courage, and I love her self-centered replies. Also, when she's being interviewed, you need to listen to her interviews because she protects her inner artistic self, always. I love this topic of intuition. When you listen to that inner voice of yours and when you are tuned into it while doing the hard work, while practicing and studying and dedicating your entire life to singing, I believe that huge things must happen to you. They must happen. I feel like this intuition has been guiding me my entire life to find the right teachers for me, even the right school for me to study, the right opera house to sing in. I pray and I imagine every single day how my hard work will flourish like a beautiful flower and I will get to step and sing and perform on the beautiful stages that Maria Callas conquered. It had been the first night of Aida, and Maria had already been in bed with the lights off for an hour when Evangelia, her mother, unable to sleep, heard her sobbing. She went up to her. "Are you worried that it wasn't a huge success?" "It was. You know it was," she whispered to her. "I don't care about Aida," sobbed Maria even more loudly than before. "Then what is it? What is it?" "I want children. I want twins. I want many children around me. And I want you to bring them up." She went on sobbing in her mother's arms until she fell into a deep, deep sleep. While I was reading her biography, I felt real pain for the personal life of Maria Callas. In times when women were still fighting for their rights, the men in Maria Callas's life persuaded her again and again not to have children. Her husband, Meneghini, told her at the age of 34 that children will ruin her career and ruin the big diva that she became. And later on, they divorced, and at the age of 43, Maria Callas became pregnant. Her lover, Onassis, was supposed to be the father of her child. By the way, I think that Onassis was the biggest curse in Maria Callas's life. He told her that if she's going to keep the child, he's going to break up with her, and she was so madly in love with him that she got an abortion, even though a child was her biggest desire back then. I think women are really privileged nowadays to have big careers while being mothers. I feel that pregnancy and motherhood have changed me as a singer completely, have empowered me as a singer. I sing now better than I have ever sung. My range got wider and my voice got deeper, and I feel that I control my voice better than ever before. And I just can't help but asking myself, what would have happened to Maria Callas if she would have had that child? Would she have sung better at that age after giving birth? She kind of lost her high notes. Would she have gained them back? Would her career start off again at the age of 43? Would she have lived longer? Because now she would have had this unconditional love to a pure baby of hers. I tell Noga all the time that she will travel with me and see the world with me and see amazing opera houses and huge orchestras and beautiful costumes. And I just wish that Maria Callas would have had the opportunity to have a child as well. An opera begins long before the curtain goes up and ends long after it has come down. It starts in my imagination, it becomes my life, and it stays part of my life long after I've left the opera house. In today's very distracting world of social media and so much information, I'm trying to look and search for the truth and for certainties that will guide me and help me get to where I want to get and to fulfill my dreams. I believe that Maria Callas became the iconic legend she is thanks to her hard work and dedication to her craft. She cracked the code of what works on the operatic stage to drive the public completely mad. It's very easy to idolize her as La Divina, which she is. But we must remember that she was also human, facing the same challenges that we are facing while building our careers in this profession. I have to thank you, cara Maria Callas, for paving the way for us singers to be more accurate with our music, yet more virtuosic and more bravuri, for giving us the permission to bring a character to life and to pour an endless sea of emotions on the operatic stage, for reminding us that this is a never-ending process, and for bringing this unique art form to a collective awareness through your existence. You were and forever will be La Divina. To sing is an expression of your being, a being which is becoming. Maria Callas. Hi, I'm Shiri and I'm a soprano, an opera singer. My dream is to sing on those biggest stages that Maria Callas conquered. Will you help me get there? Emily, will you help us get there?